Welcome back to a new video. So this has 3 sessions in it, and I made some adjustments this week to make training a little bit easier and to kind of work around some knee discomfort that I was having. So for this session here, it was the no foot snatch day, and so I worked up to 85 for triples, 4 sets of 3 instead of 5. The first set went really bad, but then after that it went a lot better. And instead of pushing up in normal snatches after, I pushed up in no-foot snatches and went up to 110, which I already posted itself, but this was the session where that happened, where I did the 110 no-foot plus 2 overhead squats. Only on that top set, though. Obviously didn't do it on all the sets. That would have been too fatiguing. After that, did some sets of push press at 100. A little bit bigger jumps than I guess it was originally planned. But I don't really think it's too big of a deal. Just like today, was going to originally jump to like 83, but been feeling good and motivated to train, and that's kind of where I'm kind of allowing myself to be a little bit more aggressive with the jumps, and going 85 instead of 83 is not the end of the world. Same with going, instead of 95, going to 100 is not, record-shattering type things that are going to destroy me or be overreaching in some sort of extreme way. But with that extra motivation, I was excited to actually do this session. And even though I knew I wasn't going to be using straps, and using hook grip for triples is not fun, but the reps are feeling good, and really trying to keep the bar close and trying to extend hard with my legs, and obviously not really thinking much about my feet because they're not moving. That's something more that I really felt as a positive later when I was doing the block snatches. I'll talk about that when those come up, but the triples, as I got better at them throughout the session, they felt better. I was having some discomfort in my right knee, which I think probably impacted me more in my first set than I'd like to admit, but as I started to move through these other sets, then it was fine. But it wasn't really getting better as I trained. So for snatches, there's not a lot that can prevent me from doing a snatch other than really like a shoulder type thing. Like if my knees are sore or my wrist, I can usually kind of get through it, particularly with like knee stuff. It's not too big of a deal. But for other lifts like squats, obviously, that's much more impactful when the focus is on the legs. So I did make some adjustments in this session. So after doing these no-foot snatches and then the power clean and push presses, I did front squats to 160 again, which was good. I was happy with how it moved, but the right knee was just not comfortable. And I was hoping that when I got to back squats, it would start to feel a little bit more, or really loosen up, or, whatever. Like, I just wouldn't be bothering me. And I was still feeling it. And on, like, a pain scale, I would say it was probably, like, a 5, maybe. That might even be too high. I was feeling it. If I had if I really had to, I could have pushed through it and done it. But I didn't want to, aggravate and make something worse. And the way that I'm structuring training now, where I have a day like this where it's heavier, and then the next day, which is essentially light, focused on mobility and recovery, I had the idea of I'll just try to do the squats the next day and see how the knee feels. Because one of the benefits, obviously, there's not as much to do in that session. I just essentially have pulls is like the big thing to do on the next day. But doing squats first without doing, these snatches and power cleans and front squats, logically probably means that my legs will feel a little bit fresher for them. And that was certainly the case in that session, but that's one I did out in the shed. And it was decently cold, but it wasn't really too bad. This week was kind of weird. Tuesday was super warm. So Monday and Tuesday I was outside at school all day because the gym was being used. So Monday was pretty cold, but it wasn't too bad as the day went on. Tuesday was amazing. It was like 60 degrees and sunny the whole day. In fact, a little too sunny. I should have wore a hat because I got sunburnt on my neck and forehead a little bit, which thankfully it wasn't like extreme, but definitely was a little bit. So had to pay attention to that if I'm outside, just to make sure I have the hat on or whatever if I'm going to be out there for multiple hours, because I am the color of my shoes. That is for sure. But that was, I guess this was after Monday, so I would think I was sunburnt on this day. Trying to think of when these sessions. Oh no, this was Tuesday or Monday. I'm forgetting all the days. All the days are running together. There was a lot, not really a lot that went on, but Monday and Tuesday I was outside at school. Wednesday We were celebrating one of the other special areas' birthdays, so we had Chipotle, so that was a unique thing. And then Thursday, I went to the dentist to get my cavities taken care of, which are all done, which feel kind of weird now, but they actually only did 3 instead of the 4 they originally had planned. They said the one they're going to keep an eye on, but it wasn't bad enough where they wanted to do. And they gave me the same spiel of like, make sure you floss and brush. But like, if you could tell by how consistent I am with training, you can extrapolate that to most healthy choices in my life. I brush twice a day and floss at least once. Sometimes I floss in my car if I feel like I got food in my mouth. Basically every day. I would say the only time I've ever in my life not been good at flossing is when I had braces, and that was back when I was 14, 15, 16, or actually even younger than that, I should say, like middle school age. But yeah, I've like always flossed even when I was a kid, besides obviously the brace time, because braces sucked for flossing trying to get it into the brackets and whatnot. But these were the push press sets, so like I mentioned, I did them at 100, so triples, and these are moving really well. I was really happy with the rhythm that I had with them. The power cleans are feeling really easy, which is odd, but I was really trying to focus on the same thing of trying to keep the shoulders over the bar and just trying to wait to extend, and I think that carries over. Basically any sort of thing I modify with the pull to make it more efficient in the snatch always carries over in the clean as well, and I think that's one reason why the power cleans were a little bit easier on this day. I was just using a little bit better technique. But after doing triples, I worked up to 110 and then 120. So last week I missed 120, but this week I made it. And honestly, the power cleans with 110 and 120 looked really easy. And they honestly felt pretty easy too. So I just had them in a good groove. So something I'm going to, continue to think about at least is, the shoulders over the bar and just really trying to wait until I'm at the top and then really aggressively extend. And obviously try to keep my hips down as well. Because when I get my shoulders to the bar, sometimes my hips want to shoot up, or I just make it turn into like a deadlift, which is not ideal for doing weightlifting movements. But here's the 120, so pretty good clean, or power clean I should say. And then the push press, pretty difficult, but after missing it last week, it's nice to be able to get it here. Also, besides all that, so whatchamacallit? Oh, Friday was a pretty interesting day too. Sorry, I apologize if you heard my stomach there rumble a little bit, but my teaching partner, she had to go take care of her daughter because she was getting the flu that everyone is getting around. So the afternoon I was actually by myself teaching double classes, which was pretty hectic. It's always kind of hectic with double classes, with or without other people. But with Frisbees, it was, I was probably much more stressed about the Frisbees than I don't want to say that I should have, because you always kind of want to make sure kids are not, chucking things at each other and stuff. But with the kindergarten classes in the afternoon, it was certainly stressful because, you don't want kids to get hit by Frisbees and stuff like that. And a couple of years ago, I had a student get a tooth chipped from a Frisbee, and I had a different student who hit himself with a Frisbee. He threw it straight up in the air, hit himself in the mouth, and put his bottom teeth through his lip. So don't have a good history with Frisbees, but, still obviously a fun skill, for kids to learn. And I have some foam ones, which are great for when they're playing catch. So those are obviously a lot safer than the plastic ones. But for because I don't have enough foam ones for 2 classes to all use for all the stations I had, I did have to use some of the plastic ones as well, which gives me some anxiety with that. But this was the Tuesday, or no, I don't know, whatever day. This is day 2 of the week. So this is where I was trying to do the squats, and I was really surprised, and pleasantly surprised, I should say, that my legs felt great. I always see this meme every once in a while, and it's the doctor asking, he's like, how much pain do you experience? And it's like, just the normal amount, and the doctor says the normal amount's 0. But when you lift every day, you kind of know the normal aches and pains or whatever that you have, and when it's pretty minimal, then you can kind of just focus on trying to push through the weight. And that's kind of how I assess pain. Is can I think about trying to do the lift powerfully and trying to move fast, or am I apprehensive because I'm worried about, discomfort that I'm going to have in some part of my body? And if I don't have that, then I would say the pain is basically minimal. But I would also counter that to say that anyone is going to have some sort of joint or body discomfort. I don't know anyone that's perfectly pain-free unless they are like an opioid addict or something. But even then, in that case, they probably do have pain, and that's what they use the opiates for. But that's neither here nor there. This was the 4 sets of 3, and I feel like I always wear my Arkansas sweatshirt, but it's just a really nice sweatshirt. It's really big. It's double XL, which is a normal size that I get for a lot of sweatshirts, but for whatever reason, this one's like extra large. It's not triple or anything. That would just actually look like a dress on me still, but it's just a super comfortable sweatshirt, so I clean it. I just wear it a lot. Same with the Browns hat. Certainly probably a weird combo, the Cleveland Browns hat, an Arkansas shirt, and then you can see the Akron Zips, where I did some high school. Well, I did a couple college classes through there when I was in high school as post-secondary, and then Mount Union University, the purple one up there, and then my grad school over there. Students have started to draw more pictures for me, or like color pictures for me, so I have some more things to hang up in the little mural that I have back there, and I have some space, I think, to the right of that YB normal, those little 2 pieces of wood. I think I'll hang up some stuff there. But kind of excited for that. Like I don't ever obviously expect kids to do that, but it's always sweet when they bring you pictures and stuff, and it's nice when you can hang it up and kind of have a spot for it. Because before I put them up there, I always kept them, but I didn't really have like an idea of what to do with them. And then I saw the shed, I was like, I don't do anything with this wall. Like I'm not gonna paint it or like put drywall or whatever over it. So it just kind of looks cool. Kind of increases the aesthetic of the shed. You have the flags and then all the student artwork. But that and some of my niece, mostly of course students, because there's a lot more students than I have nieces. But my niece has drawn a colored or whatever some pictures for me up there as well, which couldn't tell you where they are currently. I think they're on one side, but they're all kind of mishmashed all together. But this was the Friday night session. So yesterday was Thursday. All right, all my days are coming back together. So that was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all the sessions. So this was Friday, and took several sets of this warming up here with 40 kilos. Usually with blocks, I like to just start at 40 kilos, so I just keep warming up with it, just because it puts the bar at the position that I'm going to be doing the actual lift with. But as I was warming up, I was feeling really powerful, so really trying to be aggressive with my feet, with getting them to be down and just kind of pushing up through them. It's hard to say, or it's hard to describe exactly. I'm not stomping them. I'm not thinking about stomping them. I'm just thinking about, as I extend, where they're going to land, just trying to aggressively set them down and then push up. So less about trying to make them loud or anything. Because again, like I can't even hear them because I got headphones in. So trying to make them loud is something I wouldn't even be able to notice. So maybe they are louder, but I'm just trying to feel them more aggressive and feel like the full foot as I'm landing, and then to obviously turn over aggressive. So I think trying to be more aggressive with my legs, pushing down, or I guess pushing up from like the feet, is allowing me to be more aggressive at the top as well. But these were 4 sets of 3 at 90, which I was really happy about how they moved. And the speed was good. All the reps felt good. I felt like I could have snatched 140 today from the high blocks, and obviously I wasn't fresh enough for some sort of lifetime feat like that. But after doing these 4 sets of 3, I pushed up to doing 100 for a single, and then 110, and then 118, and those all felt pretty good. The 118, better than last week where I was missing 115 and then making it, and it felt pretty good, and I felt confident enough to jump up to 125. And I suppose that's the other thing I wanted to talk about as well, is the Columbus place that I like to go to do competitions. They just listed one for May 17th, so I'm targeting that date. I haven't signed up for it as of speaking on this, but I might relatively soon, assuming training continues to go well. I think I'm actually at a really good point, where I'm doing like volume and stuff like that now, to where I can work to that being the day. That first 125 is close. Second one wasn't as close, but definitely had the confidence for it, which is nice. As the last time I tried 125, I clarked it, which is not good. And I'm usually really good from snatches from the blocks, even if I am missing them. Like I'm pretty good at committing to doing them. But that May 17th is the date that I'm targeting. If I feel like, probably wait a couple weeks before I sign up for it officially. But if I feel like I'm making good progress and I have a good chance of, hitting some good numbers, then that will certainly be a date that I'm looking for. Ideally, on that date or for that competition, I would like to push or at least open at 122 in the snatch or 123, something around there. And then for the clean and jerk, probably be pretty aggressive and open at 163. So a lot of work to do to get prepared for that competition. But the goal is to be able to snatch in excess of 130 or at least, and maybe do that on my third. But if I open at like 122 and then to go to 127, that would be an increase of the previous time when I did 126. But then that would allow me to then go pretty comfortably to 130 or 131, something like that. Honestly, probably would just go 130 just to be conservative with that. And then for the clean jerks to open at 163, and assuming obviously that I make it and then it's pretty comfortable, either jump all the way to 170 and take a crack at that, or 2 cracks at it. Potentially could also jump to 167 because that would be a competition PR as well and a total PR. So that would be a really good thing. Even if I did 163, it's not the that's where like one thing I might want to try 131 if I hit 127, because then if I open at 163, that'd be a kilo competition PR. But I kind of want to go for that 300 total if I can, and doing that 170 would certainly allow me there. Yeah, that block clean and jerk. After I decided not to do volume on the clean and jerk on this day, and I decided to do clean and jerk from the blocks instead of doing them separate, just because I didn't want to do them separate. The 143 there you saw, the jerk was kind of stinky, obviously because I had to run it out. I ran it out further than I would normally, because I didn't want to drop it on the big dumbbells that were there. And the reason those giant dumbbells are there is some of the powerlifters will use it for bands, so that's why they were even around the platform in general. But for the 145, I just didn't have any gas left to do a jerk. But happy with the clean, and honestly, like the cleans, even though they kind of smashed me, the technique is looking better at them. And I think because there's blocks at the gym now, I don't really have an excuse to avoid them, and it'll be good for me to get good at them just because of the speed under the bar, really for snatches as well. And I like snatches from the high blocks, so I don't have to convince myself to do them. But for cleans, it's certainly, they're feeling better than even the previous time. So don't necessarily have a number that I want to get up to with it, but just want to continue to improve upon it. Same with the snatches. Obviously the more weight the better, but just want it to move well and to try to be fast under the bar. But a couple good days of training. Today on Saturday it's going to be a light day. Probably, I don't actually know what I have. I think it's just pulls, light pulls maybe, or not even those maybe. But then Sunday is going to be the Imam day, so a heavier type day. So I don't want to go crazy in this Saturday, but Sunday should be pretty heavy, so that should be a fun day. But yeah, so May 17th is probably the competition day. Usually that's about the time I compete anyway, so in a couple months here. And so I have like 2 months to get ready for that, and hopefully I can hit, if I can snatch 130, that'd be awesome, and then 170 in the clean jerk would be fantastic as well. But we'll see. We gotta have good training and get big. I have to actually increase my body weight. I was 233 this morning, so need to get fat, need to get thick. Trying to get up to 240. That will certainly help, particularly the clean jerk as well. But that's gonna be it for this one. So I'll talk to you all in the next one. I hope you all have a great day. Peace.